You know, they say that it takes a village to raise a child. Well, we, the villagers, are screaming. The villagers are screaming. Our names are Marianne and my daughter, Tara Barnard. 59 days ago, on Sunday, March 20th, our amazing 28-year-old son and brother, Antonio Ant Luconi, lost the biggest fight of his life to his disease and his addiction to heroin. Substance abuse disorder does not discriminate and no longer fits the characteristics of the stereotypical junkie. It ruins the lives of good people. It took our son and brother, our sweet, kind, loyal, intelligent, strong, and funny, loving aunt. He had the world's biggest heart. He was one of a kind and added so much to each and every life that he touched. He never failed to tell you, "I love you," at every opportunity. Our son and brother was 19 days fresh out of rehab at the time of his death. He was so excited to start his life over, make his family proud, and pursue every goal that he ever had. He did not want to die. He had plans. He had big plans. He said 28 was his year. Little did he know that the dragon would creep back up on him with a deadly dose of fentanyl-laced heroin. Around the age of 21, Ant began using Percocet and Rococet. As his addiction increased, so did the quantity of pills needed to maintain his high and the cost of supporting his pill addiction. As a result, he graduated to snorting heroin, which was much less expensive to purchase. While attending an IOP program, he was introduced to using needles by another patient in the program. From that point on, he used needles to inject his heroin. Ant was open and honest throughout his addiction. He did not want to live the life of an addict. He wanted his family. Many a night, one could find him crying in my arms, apologizing, ashamed of himself, and pleading for help to be whole again. Here was a young man begging for help. He had made repeated decisions to change his life, and he was failed horribly by the stigma in our current system. Ant made many numerous attempts to get clean. Over the years, my husband and I drove him from one detox center to another, only to be turned down by each one, either due to insurance issues or lack of available beds. The same roadblocks were experienced finding inpatient recovery and IOPs. Ant's brain receptors were so covered in opioids, and that left him incapable of making a lifetime decision. You couple that with his belief that he should be able to conquer this disease, and that all led to a disastrous end. When Ant arrived home after completing his most recent recovery program, he was so proud and confident with his new life. Yet his biggest fear was the chance of relapse. He said, "I can't wait just to live in the moment again." Ant shared with us a letter that he wrote to heroin. The first sentences of the letter read, "I am saying goodbye because you have made me someone I am not. My life is now unmanageable. You destroy all good things in my life. I hate you." 2 days after returning home from his recovery, Ant attended his scheduled IOP assessment. He was declined access and participation due to a related family member already in the same program. Before they allowed him to leave that building, it should have been mandatory that at this very fragile and vulnerable time in his recovery that he was enrolled in another IOP. After a 10-day wait time for the next available IOP, he was turned down during the assessment due to an insurance issue. He was told to get a new card demonstrating his current insurance coverage and make another appointment for another assessment with another waiting time of 10 days. Lack of continuity of recovery turned out to be a life-ending situation.
We are now left brokenhearted. Our heads are screaming. Our hearts are crying and our souls are devastated. Our son and brother put up a heck of a fight. He was on the road to recovery. He was so excited to start his life over and live the life he always wanted to. Ant was starting a new job just the day after he died. He was researching summer courses to expand on his associate's degree and obtain his bachelor's degree in the field of finance. He was in the process of joining a men's ice hockey league. He had plans, big plans. My brother won and excelled at everything he did, but he lost the biggest fight of his life. Things must change. More resources need to be available for people who have that brief moment of clarity and decide to get help. We want someone to answer the phone on a Sunday night when that person struggling with this disease calls to get help without having to wait until the next morning to speak to an intake counselor. Insurance issues and lack of beds for detox and inpatient programs, in addition to the much too short amount of time of 28 days for recovery programs, are huge issues. Continued ongoing aftercare support programs are either lacking or have long waiting lists. We do not want Ant to have died in vain. We all need to bring awareness to this disease. We need to remove the stigma and acknowledge that this brain disorder does not discriminate between social class, color, race, religion, or even how amazing and loved a person is. Too many good lives have been taken. Too many that we know personally. There was never, ever a second of our lives that we were ever ashamed or embarrassed of Ant. We were always rooting for him. We will be forever proud of him. We always felt that he was destined to do big things and that God had a plan for him. Perhaps this is his legacy. As mentioned earlier, Ant wrote a letter to Heroin. We wanted to share with you how he ended his letter. Something I want you to know is, I hate you and wish you would stop causing so much pain in this world and killing people. Stay out of my life forever. I never want to see you again, ever. From Ant.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.